DiNardo. Welcome to Starbucks. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Jim Rosati. What's up, Jim?
How's it going? Good morning.
Good morning.
Look at this setting, this backdrop.
Actually, you say good morning. I'm noticing the sun is starting to come through.
When we got here 15 minutes ago, it was like pitch black.
Yeah.
And now this is gorgeous.
They can see what's behind us now.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Winter Meetings banner behind us. This is pretty neat.
Right. So, first morning of the MLB Winter Meetings. What are your thoughts so far?
It's early. It was a late night last night, so
you were telling me.
I'll say this: like, if you've ever been to this hotel, this like convention area, it's huge. First off, and I feel like we're gonna get lost a few times while we're here.
We're getting lost a few times. We've already got lost twice.
So we've been lost already, but no, it's going to be a lot of fun. Last night, we were here. We came to watch Sunday Night Football here last night. There's a little sports bar kind of right over there. And I was like, hey, let's just go hang out. Maybe we'll see some people. Met up with some of our favorite beat writers, Alex Stumpf and Jason Mackey, joined us for some drinks watching football. And I think it was the first time it hit me because like you're drinking a beer, you look to your right, there's Derek Shelton, like literally right there. You look to your left, there's Jeff Passan. You look over across the way, Joel Sherman. So like you've got all these guys here who are like the Major League Baseball, everyone in the industry is here today.
Right. It's definitely who's who.
Yeah, it's neat.
Now what I want to say is good idea coming here last night. Just because like you wanted to scope the place out, we found this as a setting and everything. But because it was Sunday Night Football and we're Central Time and we're hanging out last night, right? Like people are watching this back home. It's now 8 o'clock. For us, it's 7.
Yeah,
we got like 3 hours of sleep.
We got up early. It was a late night. We got up early today.
Like, I feel like that moment, like 8 Mile, like you're going to say like some really profound something today on the show.
Yes.
And I'm just be like, it's 6:30, dog.
Yeah, you didn't want to get up early to do this.
I'm struggling. I'm glad the camera's way back there right now. Yeah. And it's like not right on my face. Because I
already spilled coffee on me.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we're a mess. But no, it should be exciting. I think the festivities here start right around 9 o'clock local time. So we're about 2 hours away from like real stuff kind of taking place. But I already saw Lauren Shahadi walk through the courtyard here. So yeah, starting to hustle and bustle.
Well, speaking of starting to hustle and bustle, maybe we should start actually talking something about this show.
Let's do it.
From all the Pirate moves that have happened, obviously. There's a lot of them.
All the moves.
Right? Yeah. The NL Central is on fire. Jackson Chourio signed the largest deal of a player who's never reached the majors. And the Pirates, well, they signed a couple of players themselves.
Yeah, so not exactly on Jackson Chourio's level. They do make a couple of minor pickups over this past week. We're looking for obviously more stuff to happen while we're down here. But Ali Sanchez, who was back on the team for like a month last offseason, he's back. 1-year deal, a major league deal. It's not all guaranteed though. He's pre-arb, so I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Because I feel like a lot of Pirates Twitter got really, really excited or all wound up about this Ali Sanchez signing. And like, I just don't think there's much to it, honestly. I think it's just a catching depth signing. I would be surprised if he remains on the 40-man. I think they're going to eventually try to sneak him through waivers and see if they can just invite him to spring training as a non-roster invitee. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Ali Sanchez might catch at some point in time for the 2024 Pirates just because of injuries. But like, Ali Sanchez isn't going to be on the opening day roster. That's my take.
So I am not going to guarantee anything at this point in time about anything. So I'm not going to put my word on him not being on the opening day roster. I hope he's not.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say about that too. And I think this goes back to like what Tyler and I were talking about on NS9 Live. It's like I get everyone's frustration about so much right now. So like everyone on Twitter going wild about this, you know what? The frustration is warranted. You're seeing everyone in the NL Central do what they're doing, and then the Pirates sign Alex Sanchez. So I get it. But on that, like, realistically speaking, I'm kind of with you. This makes him 40-man at 38 now, right? With him and Munoz, right? That's 38. You need at least 3 pitchers. The math doesn't add up, right? So, like, why are you adding these guys when you need starting pitching, right? It's depth. It's depth. It's a split deal. That's probably what convinced them to come here because, like, hey, even if I don't make it, I get waived. I'm getting some money here probably, later in the future, so whatnot. Yeah. So, like, I'm more enticed to go here. And the Pirates say, you know what, it's low risk, a little bit of money up to dish out if not. But we have some depth because we're not sure what's going on with Henry Davis. You know what I mean? Right. And I think the other thing, too, is don't worry so much about the 40-man number. But yeah, like, it is at 38. It's not where the Pirates can only and will only make 2 more additions to this roster. Right. Because there's certainly more people that are expendable. But I think what you're probably looking at is trades. Like, a trade will happen. And that's going to make other guys removed. Other guys come in, and you might still be at 38, come at 40. Yeah. So, like, I think there's a focus, and people are worried that that's the guy we got. And, like, there's only room for 2 more guys that need pitching. So what are we doing here? Kind of just remove that. Don't think about it.
Yeah, there are expendable options on this roster where if they need to make room for people, they can make room. And Ali Sanchez is one of those guys.
I was just going to say, including the 2 guys they just added.
And the other guy added, Roderick Munoz, like, really good stuff from the Nationals, claimed off waivers, taking up another 40-man spot. But
we got birds.
Yeah, we got some birds here. Want some coffee. But as far as again, just a depth option, probably someone that they think they can hopefully try to fix. Another guy though who is towards the bottom of that 40-man, and if you need space, like, he's just another guy that you can remove from the roster if needed. Both of these
are, as the Nationals did themselves,
right? And both of these guys are candidates to, like, if you do DFA them, they could pass through waivers. Like, Ali Sanchez, maybe being a catcher, has a more likely shot of getting claimed. But Ali Sanchez already cleared waivers 2 months ago. Like, it can happen again.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think this is like an attack on Jason DeLay, as some of them putting it. I don't think this is a direct correlation that they've already determined that the Henry Davis catcher experiment is done, and that's why they're going after Ali Sanchez. Yeah. I just think, like you said, you're going to need catchers. He's one of them for now, at least.
Yeah. I just don't think we should really read all that much into it.
And again, Jim, let me say this again. This is also the team we were complaining and talking about a year ago for the opposite effect, where they had one catcher on the 40-man for how long?
Yeah, this move makes, like, when they picked up Ali Sanchez last year, it made sense.
Right.
We were saying the same thing. Like, the guy's not that great, probably not a major league catcher, but again, it's a depth piece option there. They'll invite him to spring training if they can figure out a way to get him on the roster at that point in time. I would just be surprised if he's on the 40-man come mid-February.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Well, we're done now, right?
Yeah. What about so there was one move already made for winter during the winter meetings. Pretty big. So we were actually at the bar when this happened. So it was pretty funny. We saw Jeff Passan tweet about it, and then like an hour later, we looked and there's Jeff Passan at the bar with us. So
again, just passing us by.
Yeah. So just like, I mean, it's a pretty cool atmosphere here. But just to kind of run through this, the Seattle Mariners traded Evan White, Marco Gonzalez, and Jared Kelenic to the Atlanta Braves for prospect Cole Phillips and right-handed pitcher Jackson Kowar. So Kowar was just acquired, I think, a bit ago from the Royals. Cole Phillips, second-round pick. Not a whole lot given up here by Atlanta. Really a salary dump move for the Mariners. Marco Gonzalez is making over $10 million. I think he's making $12 million, maybe even 14. Like he's making a good amount of money this coming season. $12.25 million for Marco Gonzalez. Evan White is making $7 million this season. And then Kellenic. But you get Kellenic for taking on that salary if you're the Braves. That's a win. That's an upgrade for them in left field. It would have been kind of cool to see the Pirates make this move because Marco Gonzalez, don't get me wrong, he had a down year last year. He was injured. He only threw about 50 innings. But you look at Marco Gonzalez over the past few seasons, and the guy's a workhorse. And he put up some – he was a major league starting pitcher for a solid 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yeah, for sure.
Took that step back last year, but kind of that classic reclamation project type guy. Again, do you want to spend $12 million on someone like that? I don't know. But if you do, and you get Kellenic in return, I don't know, man. This is a move where I would have liked to have seen the Pirates do something like this. I wonder if the Pirates pursued this option, if they were in the running on something like this, because there's not a ton of room for Kellenic on this team. He doesn't quite fit, but you could make room for somebody like that with the amount of upside that he has. He hasn't really tapped into it just yet, but he had his best season last year. He's still only 24 years old. It's a good, talented piece that the Braves just acquired.
Yeah, what's really funny is take away the names, right? Just by position, you see the Braves acquired corner outfielder, starting pitcher, and a first baseman. You're like, Pirate, all the Pirate needs. So that alone, you're saying, why were the Pirates not like this? And then you look at the players and such. I mean, they had Kellenic's the fish. Evan White was a name. We talked and he was a prospect. Churio, where we talk about him, okay, so Evan White was one of those guys, also signed a deal before he hit the majors.
Yep.
Kind of crafty. It was a 726, I think it was, something around 724. He's making $7 million this year, $8 million next year, and I think he's done, right?
6 years, $24 million this year, next year. And then there's team options after that, but
no one's going to
pick those up.
Most likely.
Yeah.
The way he's been playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they need first base, but he shouldn't be the answer. So fine, whatever. Marco Gonzalez, starting pitcher, like you said, he's a little bit pricey for what his talent is, but that's what you would think.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you're looking at free agency right now. What are Marco Gonzalez is going for? $10 million.
Yeah.
So it's if you're going to go out and get a Marco Gonzalez paying $10 million, so why not get a Kellenic on top of it for some? I don't know if they're even mid-tier prospect. I mean, it's prospects the Pirates can certainly afford to give up.
Right.
So it's okay, so you take on, in my mind, it's you take on Evan White's contract. You get a need. That's a little bit more you want, but it's still a need. It's in your system, and you get Derek Kellenic. Why? Where were the Pirates? I don't know where they were.
Yeah, it would be.
This is certainly a deal. If this was the Pirates happening today, and we were talking about this, it's not that I'd be excited, but this kind of makes some sense.
Yeah.
You'd be excited about the prospect what Jared Kellenic could bring.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big name with major upside.
I started to tap into it last year.
Yeah, strikeout's still an issue, but the walks were there. Pretty good defense in left field. But yeah, the age and the upside is what really makes Kellenic very interesting. And you look at this and you're just like, man, the Braves.
They did
how do they keep getting away with this stuff? But no, I mean, they took on some major salary. Yeah, that's a good point, though. If Marco Gonzalez is a free agent right now, Marco Gonzalez is probably signing a 1-year, $10 million deal. Yeah, that's what we've seen so far. Pitchers like him going for. So, yeah, it's an interesting move. I'm curious on if the Pirates were in on it at all, because just by, like you said, looking at the positions, it fills some needs that this team has. Marco Gonzalez, don't get me wrong, no ace or anything. But Marco Gonzalez slotting into this rotation right now, I would take that.
Right. Yeah, you still need more. You need better.
Right.
But at least you have two. And Marco Gonzalez has a little bit of upside to him.
Yep.
Like we talked about with some of these pitchers, they're going to cost him, but there's still some upside.
Yeah. Not
that he's going to be a number 2 guy or whatever, but you're probably not signing a $10 million guy to just be a number 5 starter. He could give you a little bit better.
Yeah. Someone in the comments here asks, you think the Pirates are going to make any moves this week?
Well, I guess that's probably our next point here as well to talk about. I mean, are they going to make any moves?
They have to. I mean,
they don't have to this week. They have to make moves.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, they have to.
Theoretically,
they also could be sitting there saying, "Hey, we don't have to make moves."
Right. Yeah. If they want to be competitive in 2024, they've got to make some moves, right?
Right.
Do they need to make moves this week? No, but this is a week where a lot of stuff happens. Just some things that we've heard. And this is, if you really just look on Twitter too, you'll notice the Pirates haven't been involved in any free agent talks. like it's not like so-and-so is talking with this team, and the Pirates, or the Pirates are one of the teams in on this guy. We haven't seen that at all. Things that we're just hearing from other people, they are really kind of focusing on trade acquisitions at this point to improve the team.
However, you also don't hear their names involved in the trades that are out there either.
So like Juan Soto, obviously no. We haven't heard their names like in like the Dylan Cease talks, but we've heard like the Cardinals,
Shane Bieber talk.
Cardinals have been in the Dylan Cease talks. But just from what we've heard in our time here so far, the focus currently seems to be on improving the team via a trade. So maybe be on the lookout for something like that. I still expect them to come out of this with at least one starting pitcher. Like they kind of have to get started on building that rotation. And I mean, you're here for 4 days with all of Major League Baseball. Like I would be surprised to see them not do something. Now, is it going to be a big splash? I don't know, but they need starting pitching, and they need it before guys start going away. Like they need to pick up some guys.
Well, they're starting to. That's the thing. They're starting to. Yeah. This is their talk and discussion on NS9 Live. Like it's not time to panic because it's only been a handful of guys that have gone, right? Yeah. But each day that passes, it seems like that handful grows, and right, the Pirates don't have any of them yet.
Right.
They need 4 guys, and I don't know. Like again, there's every reason to be frustrated at this point in time, especially because you're seeing the NL Central just explode right now. And I know the Cubs haven't actually done anything, but like they're the name you see involved in every trade. Right, the Reds are seeing involved in all these trades. The Cardinals seeing so like, even though physically the Cubs haven't actually done something, they're involved. Something's coming. Right, they want to do something.
Cubs are in on Ohtani.
You're not hearing that about the Pirates, so you're wondering if and what they're involved with. Yep. And like if it's not a Dylan Cease, then what is it? And again, that's what worries you. Is it just the bottom level guys, and we're just gonna say, you know what, we're not that focused about this year anymore, or whatever? I don't know. So, do I expect a move? Like, do I think there's going to be a move this winter meetings? Man, I don't know. I think, like, deep down, I feel it has to happen, so they have to, right? But then, honestly, it's like, but it's also, what are you hearing? Nothing. What are you seeing? Nothing. So, I shouldn't expect it. I guess I'm not expecting anything.
There's no signs pointing to them signing a free agent. But no. I think it just comes down to they need arms. And this is the time to pick one up. So I still expect them to do something. At some point we'll hear Pirates are in talks deep with Jack Flaherty or something like I said, I'm not talking about one of the big names. And I still think they need to go out there and acquire. They need to throw 4 years, $80 million at Eduardo Rodriguez. Like they need to do something like that if they want to be competitive. I don't foresee a move like that happening this week. I would be ecstatic if it did, because it's something that they really need to do. They need to commit to this team. But I would expect one starting pitcher. And again, from just what we've been hearing, they're really focusing on the trade market right now to improve the team. So maybe see a trade this week. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Again, the rational side, the emotional side. Mm-hmm. Like, keep in mind, too, the Pirates are tight-lipped about everything. Mm-hmm. So that could be why we're not hearing names. Maybe they actually are, but nothing's actually being leaked or whatever. Again, this is why you're so frustrated as a Pirates fan. It's cool if you're a Cubs fan and a Cardinals fan because you get to hear into your teams being out there and stuff. like maybe they were involved in this Kalanick trade, but we'll never know. But other teams at least are like, hey, they're at least talking, they're trying.
Yep.
They don't have to feel frustrated they're not doing anything. It just makes too much sense that something has to happen this winter meetings. And again, a lot can go down these next 4 days.
Yeah. One of the things too, Rule 5 draft. Pirates pick, thanks to Ethan, Pirates pick 9th in the Rule 5 draft. Again, 40-man roster sitting at 38. Do you expect the Pirates to pick somebody in the Rule 5 draft this year?
That's a good question. Typically I would say yes. And I think most years the answer is also yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because first off, the Pirates are picking at a advantageous spots.
Yeah.
So they have a better, pick there to get someone with maybe some upside. It's not as great this year, but it's still top third. The product of the Rule 5, like the people that are out there, not too enticing. The needs that the Pirates have, again, like they have to fill a full roster here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can really go into this year. Let's try to scoop up maybe an arm to fill in the the reliever spot when you have to have all these other arms. And it's like you got your Munoz. There's your air quotes Rule 5. There's your addition, your project.
Yeah, I think I forget who said it yesterday. Maybe it was Alex. But Munoz is kind of like the it's a Rule 5 pick, but with an option. Like it's kind of that wild card with a good arm, but you can option him if you need to. So maybe that's the move that they're using to kind of fill in that pitching depth. I don't know, there's not a lot out there, so I don't expect them to make a pick in the Rule 5 draft. I think if they do, though, like if you're going to pick somebody, in my opinion, I think you got to go with someone who, first off, you dump him immediately if he doesn't pan out. But like you need pitching, you need arms. There's a guy out there with some pretty good pedigree.
Yeah,
he hasn't really ever been able to put it together in the minors, but he was a 4th overall pick 4 years ago. Austin Lacey from the Royals. Like, I don't know, the guy's been injured pretty much his whole career, but the stuff is still pretty good. So, like, do you maybe take a flyer on someone like that and then just say, hey, go pitch, see what you've got. If he has it, cool. If he doesn't, no loss. I feel like that's the kind of move that I would expect them to do if we're doing a Rule 5 pick. But outside someone like that with maybe just some kind of sneaky upside with really good pedigree, I don't see them picking anybody in the Rule 5 draft.
I agree. I feel like Lacey would probably be gone before then also.
Possibly.
And like with that said, it is what it is. Like that's the one guy who's somewhat intriguing, like you mentioned. And we know, again, we keep bringing this up, like our strat league, right? Mm-hmm. You're the Royals, I'm the Marlins. So we know about that draft because I like Lacey. I was kind of pissed that he went to the Royals and not the Marlins. They got Max Meyer. Mm-hmm. It didn't work out well for either of us so far.
Right, that's true.
So like about Lacey, like, I like them coming out of college. So thinking about that aspect, like, okay, the Pirates are able to get him for nothing kind of makes sense. Like, I wouldn't hate that move. Like, it's not, whereas if we're talking about the Lacey edition in the Rule 5 come Thursday on the show, it's like, what are they doing? I'd be okay with it, right? Like, it is what it is.
Yep.
That's a guy that you can, like, manage a spot for maybe if you can make some other moves. But I think that's the thing we were talking about. Like, we started the show talking to you about how it's at 38 now, but don't worry too much. But like now, if you're at 39 now, and it's just a bunch of mid that you've acquired, and there's nothing that's really showing that you're looking to compete, again, that adds to the frustration. If all they did this week was come away with Lacey in the Rule 5 draft, you're looking at this, like that's where you're saying,
that's
like,
your pickup.
Right, like that's where you're saying, like, okay, what is going on? Right. What are the 2024 Pirates? What are they?
Yeah.
What is the direction here? Are they looking to compete? Are they not? We're still just confused. So, like, that's the thing. If that happens, they pick up, like, that can't be the only thing. Like, Ben, if you're listening, if you are looking,
if you're out there somewhere,
to acquire someone in the Rule 5 drafts, you better not make that the only thing that happens, because I promise you, Pirates Twitter is going to blow up.
Yeah, that can't be like the one sole move.
No.
Like the Rule 5 draft can't be the only move made.
No.
Regardless of who it is. Mm-hmm. That cannot be the only move.
It's better off to just not make a move.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned the trade market. You mentioned the Marlins. I think that's a team that you could potentially partner with a trade. They they've got what you need in starting pitching. The Pirates, like I said, they've got plenty of draft capital. But I feel like if you're the Marlins, you're probably looking for major league help. And I don't know how much major league help the Pirates have outside of some bench options.
They need help.
Especially like if you're looking to acquire maybe like an Edward Cabrera type of guy, like you're going to have to give up something with some upside if you're acquiring Edward Cabrera. So the Marlins certainly, though, a plethora of starting pitching. They're looking to make their team better, and they're going to leverage that starting pitching depth to do so. So maybe that's a potential trade partner. Someone mentioned Trevor Rogers in the chat too. Like Trevor Rogers, Edward Cabrera, I think those would be the two guys. Maybe Brian Hoeing kind of in the mix too as far as starting pitchers. Maybe you can acquire Brian Hoeing
just because he went to Louisville. Like I don't want to hear his name.
Well, no, but I mean, if Brian Hoeing is a major league starting pitcher, like
is he?
Yeah, he is. I'd say he's a good one. He is one.
Okay, Trevor Rogers and Cabrera, I'm okay with. If we're going down, no.
But if you're looking for like a value arm that you don't have to go up a lot for, maybe Brian Hoeing is the guy.
No.
Someone says to trade Henry Davis. He has no position on the team. Well, maybe for Edward Cabrera, similar profiles.
So let's like kind of talk about, because like you said, that's probably what you're going to do. Now, I don't know if I value like trading Henry Davis for either of them two pitchers. Mm-hmm. But like, again, this is something that I don't know the direction, but we talk about trades, depends on like the level of pitchers looking to acquire. But I don't know how many people are actually safe on this roster. Like if they're really honing in on trades for starting pitching, is Henry Davis expendable? You know what I mean? Like it makes sense that he could be, but you're not giving up Henry Davis, I think, for Cabrera or Trevor Rogers. Like to me, that's you're giving up too early. Not that they're bad pitchers,
right?
But also like I would want either someone better or more control.
Right. I think with me, I think Henry Davis is certainly a trade piece because you mentioned the position flexibility. Like he doesn't really have a spot on this team right now. I think Henry Davis is someone that you trade for like the last piece to put you over the hump.
Right.
Like that's when you move Henry Davis. When you're like, you know what? We need this one guy to put ourselves over the hump. We've got Henry Davis. Let's utilize him to do that. I don't think you give up. Like you can't trade your first overall pick from 3 years ago for just some guy to make this team and its current structure better. So like if you're looking for Henry Davis to be traded this week, I just could not see that possibly happening. Because how can you be the Pirates right now and look at the roster that you have and say, we should probably trade our first overall pick from a few years ago.
Right.
It's just they're not where they need to be to do that. Now, if they go out there and they sign Eduardo Rodriguez and they sign another like decent starting pitcher and they just really need like that one more like good pitcher to put them over the edge, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're not trading Henry Davis for Edward Cabrera.
No.
Right? You're trading Henry Davis for Yuri Perez. Like, and again, I don't think the Marlins would agree to that. But if you're trading Henry Davis, you need to have a top talent coming back to you because it's just too early to give up on him. Like you can't just trade your former first overall pick for a potential fourth starter.
Right. And we kind of talked about this last night, you know, behind the scenes, people asking this question too. Like the comp and trade I talked about too was, I'm not saying like player, but like the Zach Allen, Jazz Chisholm, like that trade is kind of looking at because both of them were like young prospects at the time. It was a switch. Yeah. Like one saw they need more hitters, one saw they need more pitchers, and it happened. But there's still the control, there's still the youth. You know, it's like why you say Perez in that sense. Like Perez comes with years of control still. Like you're not making this to get that one piece in this rotation. You're making this so you have that long-term investment. Like, okay, so Perez is coming over and he's going to be in our rotation for years to come. Yeah. So it's not Henry Davis going to be here for years. It's Perez. You know, you're not trading Henry Davis to say, okay, this guy's going to be a pitcher for us for 2 more years. That doesn't make more sense, especially if this year doesn't turn out to be anything. Then like give me that trade for just 1 year of this guy. Right. When you're in true contention, that doesn't make any sense to trade Henry Davis for.
No. And so I think that's like I don't think they're in the position to do something like that just yet. I would be really, really surprised to see that happen.
Yeah. So, any more questions? Anything else?
I think that's all we got in here. I'm excited for things to kick off. like I said, gorgeous setting. Everyone's here. I'm pretty excited to see what happens today. I don't know if anything's going to happen in the Pirates realm of things, but there's a lot of stuff cooking just across the league too. Like the Juan Soto trade talks are really heating up. Shohei Ohtani is a free agent. There was a report saying that Ohtani is hoping to make a decision this week, and if that happens, that's pretty big news. So we'll be here for the Pirates press conference when Ohtani gets signed by the Pirates. Yeah, we'll do that.
By the way, I put out there on record, Jim did say if the Pirates sign Ohtani, he's jumping in the pool naked.
I didn't say naked.
Okay, maybe not that again, but now it's on record.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. If it happens, it's going to happen. You probably get arrested, spend a night in Nashville prison. It'll be worth it. Yeah.
Ohtani will bail you out.
Yes.
Friend of the show,
yeah.
Shohei Ohtani will bail you out.
We'll have him on and we'll do it.
Right. Yeah. Obviously. No, I'm excited too. 3.5 more days basically of the winter meetings here. Lots going to go down. Mm-hmm. Not sure how much with the Pirates, like you said, but a lot of stuff happening. A lot of content from us as well. I mean, we'll probably be doing stuff out here daily. And obviously we have today's show. We'll be doing NS9 live on Wednesday like normal. Yeah. We'll probably have like daily content being pumped out of some sort.
We'll try to grab some guys to so you're not just listening to us the whole time either. Hopefully.
What, you don't want to hear us?
Right.
We're not good enough, Jim?
Well, you know what? That way we can let people hear other people's perspectives.
There you go. Yeah. So tune in. And I guess that's it, right?
I think that'll do it.
Well, Cody, take us out. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.